See, life imprisonment can be, I mean, I think that's been something that needs to be carefully defined. What do we mean, the entire life, or do we mean a certain period of years? But I think that there is also the question of the fallibility of judgment itself. I mean, we have seen
that's the big point.
Instances where somebody has been hanged and you made a mistake. And finally, I think there's also the retrievability of a human being. I mean, I think that, you know, the people closest to, most badly affected by Nalini's case have actually gone out and spoken of forgiveness. And I think there are many ethical issues around.
Mahesh Jethmalani, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, as it said, there is no grass that grows under the gallows. You simply cannot remove that slight element of doubt, that slight element of what is the courts call the scintilla of doubt. Therefore, you cannot award death, since it is precisely so irreversible. So it is actually, in fact, not civilized to hand out death, because that is not actually just punishment.
Well, Sagarika, let me tell you that doesn't seem to be the argument of the government anyway. The government wants to, if that was the case, then the government should be bold enough to say, we are scrapping, because of this scintilla of doubt phenomenon, we are scrapping the death penalty altogether. But the government is not saying that. They retain the death penalty on the statute books. Now, let me get a response.
Mahesh, just hold your horses. Let me get a response from Abhishek Manu Singhvi quickly.
Yeah.
Abhishek Manu Singhvi, because of scintilla of doubt, why don't you say you'll abolish the death penalty?
Now you're on another important issue, Sagarika, the whole issue of abolition versus retention. I think there are a lot of good arguments on both sides. The abolitionists have a point.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand, if I may ask you?
Now I'll tell you. I'm just answering that. I think India has struck the right balance, and I support the current law, which is not abolitionist, but not retentionist simpliciter. It says retain death penalty, but only in the rarest of rare cases. And although it's not a perfect test, I think the residual power to award death penalty in that rarest of rare, which I would define in extreme form, is a good balance for retribution of society and also fallibility. So you got the balance right.
Mahesh, you want to come in here?
Yes, I'd like to come in here. You know, the fact of the matter is that, first of all, we're talking about mercy petitions now. As far as mercy petitions are concerned, we'll come to the viability of the death sentence later on. As far as mercy petitions are concerned, I'm sure Abhishek Singhvi will agree with me that 4 years for any mercy petition is inordinate delay. Nobody can say that if there are 22 mercy petitions before Afzal Gurus, kindly dispose them off. And by the way, this Congress government doesn't seem to know the law. In 1984, the Supreme Court has said that all mercy petitions should be disposed of as a matter of self-discipline by the President under Article 72 within the period of 3 months. So I don't know what they are talking about, 22 petitions pending. Somebody has seriously missed the law over here. As far as the abolition question is concerned, Sagarika, for terrorism, every argument which deals with punishment works against the terrorist. First of all, terrorists can't be reformed. You know that they can even withstand waterboarding torture. So there's no question of punishment reforming them. The fallibility argument in any case doesn't apply, because, as I said, the government keeps it on the statute books, is still keeping the death penalty on the statute books. In any case, it's as bad to have life imprisonment where there's a scintilla of doubt as a death penalty. In fact, terrorists, for instance, prefer the death penalty. There's a very strong argument. Just let me finish there. There's a very strong argument about the utilitarian aspect of the death penalty where terrorists are concerned. You know what happened in 1999? Kandahar took place. There was a rescue operation because you had a terrorist called Masood Azhar, who was detained since 1994 to 1999. His trial hadn't started. His sentence hadn't taken place. The longer you keep terrorists in jail in this country, the larger the chance of a hostage exchange situation. On pure utilitarian grounds, terrorism must be dealt with by death penalties. Okay, those are the very strong arguments in favor of death penalty. We'll come back and get comments in from our other panelists and ask what happens if the Kasab case too ends up in a clemency or a mercy petition. What happens there to the debate on the death penalty? Let's take a short break and come back with lots more.